Has Karen Page been replaced in Daredevil Born Again? We have been talking a lot about returning cast for the upcoming Disney Plus series. And based on some recent casting news, there might be some big changes in store for the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. Let's break down the casting news, how it could impact the Karen Page character, and what I think is really going on. Well, Daredevil Born Again is in that casting stage, and this kind of reveals and pulls back the curtain on lots of details Marvel Studios might be planning for the Disney Plus series. Now, earlier this week, we got 2 new castings, and this came via Deadline. Now, these are both interesting because they are being described as playing love interest for the leads. Now, the 2 castings are Margarita Levieva, who starred in The Deuce, and Sandrine Holt, who was part of American Gigolo. Now, both of them being love interests for the lead suggests that they could be attached to Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk. If this is all true, we can kind of assume that Holt will be playing Wilson Fisk's wife Vanessa, who was played by Alet Zerer in the Netflix show, showing that Marvel Studios might be recasting some major characters. Now, as far as Margarita Levieva goes, you have to wonder if she is the new Karen Page. As many of you know, Deborah Ann Woll played the character in the Netflix series, and very recently Charlie Cox spoke to how important she was to the show and how he really hoped she would be coming back. Karen Page is a big part of the Born Again comic, so this has a lot of people wondering. Now, to be fair, there's a laundry list of other characters she could be, and if we're doing some recasting, I could totally see her picking up the role of Elektra, although there have been some rumors surrounding that casting that were never confirmed. Now, honestly, I think people might be overreacting a little bit coming out of the gate. As you have seen from Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock, he, well, to be nice, gets around a little bit, and he has been estranged from that relationship with Karen Page multiple times in the comics. We saw him hanging out with Jennifer Walters in San Francisco during the She-Hulk series, and not only did he date multiple people in the Netflix series, Foggy Nelson made it pretty clear he was a ladies' man. So just for the simple fact that they're casting a love interest for Matt Murdock doesn't necessarily mean they're recasting Karen Page. Now, ultimately, we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks probably before we find out who's playing who. The show is in the casting phase, and I'm sure they're moving into production early next year, and we might find out more details then. We know the 18-episode series is being written and produced by Matt Corman and Chris Ord, and will also star the Many Saints of Newark actor Michael Gandolfini and Colin Woodall, with both of those castings also being unconfirmed as of today. There's been some speculation Woodall could be taking up the role of Bullseye, with Gandolfini potentially playing Wilson Fisk's son, so all these have lots of potential based on the Daredevil comics. Now, the show isn't expected to drop till fall of 2024, and I believe it'll actually be broken into 2 halves. It's an 18-episode series, so more than likely Marvel will give us the first 9 or 10, and then follow it up with the remainder of the season after a short break. People are super stoked about Daredevil Born Again, so we're going to keep on following it pretty closely on this channel. I am very curious on which roles both of these castings are picking up, and although I do feel pretty confident Holt could be playing Vanessa, I really do not feel like Margarita Levieva is playing Karen Page, but we'll have to wait and see. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to get all of your Born Again updates, but until we know more, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Marvel Studios recasting some characters from the original Netflix series? And do you think Karen Page is one of these characters that can be recast or needs to be pulled back from the old Netflix show? Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.